Hi, it's James. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to finish off Matthew chapter 13 today. We will start Matthew chapter 14 next week. On the podcast later this week, I will cover more on Roman Catholicism. I had a really good conversation with someone who was Roman Catholic, and they explained to me about the papacy. So we'll get to that later this week on the podcast. I don't know how many more chapters we're going to do on apologetics, but I definitely believe that that's the direction this channel needs to go in. So let's read Matthew 13. We'll start at 51 and we'll complete the chapter. I only got 2 points today, so, point one really has a 1A and 1B, so really there's 3, but I digress. Matthew 13, starting in verse 51. Have you not understood all these things? They said to him, yes. And he said to them, therefore every scribe who has been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a house who brings out of his treasure what is new and what is old. Verse 53. And when Jesus had finished these parables, he went away from there, and coming to his hometown, he taught them in their synagogue, so that they were astonished, and said, where did this man get this wisdom and these mighty works? Is this not the carpenter's son? Is this not his mother called Mary? Are not his brothers called James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And not all his sisters, and are not all his sisters with us? Where did this man get all these things? And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown and in his own household. And he did not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. So verse 51 and 52 really have 2 points, but I've combined them into one. Ow, my elbow. By the way, I'm not in a permanent location yet, so please keep me in your prayers. I think I have something lined up. So verse 51 and 52, Jesus tells them about what the kingdom of heaven is like, and he's basically summing up what he had been teaching concerning this. And there are 2 responses that we are to have. So let me get back over to my Kindle app. We have 2 responses. Number 1, we are to point people to the kingdom of God. Number 2, we're to share the treasure of the kingdom of God with others. R.C. Sproul said this. Jesus was saying here that those who find the treasure of the kingdom are to point others to it, sharing the treasure as it were. So we want to share the kingdom of God with others. We don't want to hoard it to ourselves. We want to share what God has done in our lives, basically. That's huge. Doesn't sound like it's something important, but I can tell you that that God has changed my life a lot in the last 30 years, and I'm very grateful for it. The second point is kind of obvious. If you look at the crowd, they were very offended by Jesus, and people will be offended by you when you try to live the right life. Don't worry about others. The only one you need to worry about is God. And you don't follow the rules because you want to try to earn your way into heaven. You do what's right because you love God. And we're saved by his grace. So don't think of yourself as trying to pay back God because of what Jesus did on the cross for you. If you're a born-again Christian, you're saved because of Jesus' death on the cross. So people will be offended by the choices that you make, by the life that you live. And let's see here, page 405. This does not mean, he's talking about like how Jesus did not do many works because of their unbelief. Quote, this does not mean people's lack of faith somehow hindered his power. He simply refrained from performing signs because he knew they would be wasted on these people. Sadly, the people of Jesus' hometown missed the treasure of the pearl of great price when he stood before their very eyes. So the bottom line is this. People will not understand you if you're a Christian and you're living the right life. It's the time when you find a wallet on the ground and you return it with the money still in it, as opposed to taking the money and claiming, "Well, I found this wallet on the ground. I don't know. I don't know if there was any money in it or not, but I found this person's ID, so you might want to give it back to them." No, you give the money back. You turn in the wallet to the police with the money in it, and you do the right thing. Some people are like, "Well, that's crazy. Finders keepers." And it's like, no, you do what's right even when no one's looking. And people will think you're crazy for doing that. But we're not living for ourselves. We live for God and for His glory and for His sake. We don't do the good things in life to try to earn our way into heaven. We do them out of gratitude, because if God had not reached down and touched our lives, we would be eternally condemned. So, anyway, I will get to the next section on Roman Catholicism. I think what I'll do the week after, I actually met with some switch gears, Mormons. I met with some Mormons last Saturday, and I found some of their what they said to be fairly interesting, because truth is, the Mormon Church has evolved, and a lot of that evolution has to do with the fact that there have been critics of the church who have said things, repeated things that they have taught, and then they're like, "Well, actually, the church doesn't hold to that teaching anymore. We believe in this instead." And so that'll be interesting to share. God willing, by April 1st, I'll be in my own place and be able to set up my light and put my GoPro in it. I may start just staying late at work and filming my videos there. I don't know. But anyway, I did it. To full disclosure, today's Sunday. I'm not going to release a video until Tuesday. But I did it because the people that I'm staying at went down to Austin so I could have some peace and quiet. So anyway, but they also went to help out a veteran who was in need. So they're good folks, the people I'm staying with. So anyway, I love you guys, especially my subscribers, and I hope you have a great week. Check out the podcast later this week on Roman Catholicism. Live it out with James Paul White, and I will see you later.